What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 41 here on the 52 Horrific Weeks in 1981 series. I am your host, Moon616, and thank you once again for joining me here. Alrighty, so once again, the remaining films went into the randomizer. Hit that random button, and we've got Deadly Blessing. Yes, that's right. Deadly Blessing, directed by Wes Craven. Kind of more of an obscure Wes Craven title. One of the lesser talked about ones, I would say, before Scream Factory releases. Now, I think a lot of people have seen it now, but it's got a pretty cool cast. It's got a very young Sharon Stone in this film. Michael Berryman's in this film. You got Ernest Borgnine, who plays Isaac, the cult head leader guy. Susan Buckner, she was in Grease, which is pretty cool. And Marnin Jensen. I don't know how to exactly pronounce her name, but she's the lead character in this, and she does a really good job. So, but yeah, getting into the plot of this one, it's simply about basically this guy that's he's a former part of the cult. He's a former member. He was basically banished from the cult because he wanted to go to school. And he eventually met this girl, which turns out to be Martha, the lead character in the film. And his dad, Isaac, he's like the lead of this. They're almost like Amish people. But they're not. They're called the Hittites. They're basically like the Amish people, but there's actually a really funny line in the movie that says something along the lines of these people make the Amish look like swingers. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, his dad Isaac basically banished him and kicked him out of the group forever. Just severed ties and stuff because he figured that the girl that he married was like the incubus. She was like the devil, and she had taken his son away for good and stuff like that. So, but anyways, so one night he ends up getting mysteriously killed in a tractor accident in his barn. Soon after, Martha feels that something was completely wrong there. It just doesn't seem right. Now she's starting to feel threatened by the Hittites because she kind of figures that maybe they had something to do with his death because of him being banished and stuff, and them hating her and stuff. So she basically goes out and gives her two friends a call, played by Sharon Stone and Susan Buckner, to come and stay with her for a little while because, like I said, she feels threatened about the whole situation where she is. She's like in their lands and stuff, and Isaac has been threatening her to, or trying to fucking buy her land back and stuff because it's theirs and shit, and she just refuses. So she's feeling really threatened and stuff, and so yeah, in comes her friends, and soon after arriving, some weird things start to happen and shit like that, and that's when the story kind of goes a little sour. So that is basically your plot to the film. My thoughts on this one, I really enjoy the setting of this, out in the country, dealing with, cult and religion, and kind of like, that whole Amish thing. I think that's a pretty cool aspect to it. As for the acting in the film, it's actually pretty well done. I thought everyone did a pretty good job. For the most part, all the mains in the movie are pretty good. I didn't think Sharon Stone was overly that great in the movie, but that's just my opinion. But the acting is actually really solid. There's some pretty good performances and stuff. So, but the overall feel of this movie that Wes Craven captured, being out in the country and stuff, he captures some pretty amazing, atmosphere. It's very atmospheric, and brought on with some really good scenes. Like, there's a really good barn scene with Sharon Stone's character. She gets trapped in this barn. She totally gets locked in, and it's actually quite really well. It's well done. It's actually quite terrifying. Wes Craven creates such a claustrophobic fucking feel to that scene, but she actually acts pretty good in that scene. Like, honestly just looks very terrified in it. I thought that was a really cool scene. And you got some very early, kind of what would be very vintage Wes Craven. There's a scene with Martha, the main character, in her bathtub, and it's got that vintage scene from, you know, Nightmare, which would be, you know, the famous Nightmare on Elm Street scene with the shot between the legs, and of course, instead of, you know, Freddy's hand would be a snake in the scene. I thought that was really, really well done. Very classic kind of Wes Craven feel to it. But yeah, he captured some really, really good atmosphere in this film. I thought it was really well done. You know, and of course, you know, along with the good atmosphere, there's fucking a really creepy score in this movie. The score is really well done. The score almost makes it feel like more of a thriller, you know, in parts of the film, towards the end. Like, it's a slasher type, like, kind of more thriller film. I always thought that was kind of interesting about it. It you know, it has slasher elements, but it does more feel like a thriller, in my opinion. But, you know, but yeah, so overall, it's a really good movie. But my biggest concern with this film is it's a little slow in the first hour of the film. There's a lot of character development, a lot of kind of side stories going on with Susan Buckner's character, and you know, her kind of liking one of the cult members. It actually turns out that it's the husband that died, her brother. She kind of gets into it with him a little bit and stuff like that. So you got a little bit of that stuff going on in the first hour, and then it kind of switches. Shit starts going down in the film, and then the end happens. Now, the last like 20 minutes of the movie, once the reveal has happened, I can't really say a lot about the second half of this movie because I don't want to ruin anything for you if you've never seen it. But once the movie, or, you know, once the killer is revealed and the motives for the killings, and it is really, really fucking weird. Really weird. I'll never forget the first time I watched this movie. I was like, what? And I actually had to read up on some. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I watched it again. I was like, okay. But, you know, I can see how, you know, it was written, you know, to get to that point. But why they went with what they did, it is so beyond me. It just seems so out there. And the very end of the movie is really kind of silly, in my opinion. It seems like it doesn't really fit. But yeah, the whole reveal to me is just fucking bizarre, man. It is just, it's out there. It's out there. But, you know, overall, it's a pretty decent film by Wes Craven. It's definitely not his best work. It's not by any means his worst work either. You know, so this one kind of falls in the middle for me. But I always find the more I watch this movie, the less I kind of enjoy it, because I think the ending it just doesn't seem to grow on me. It's just so ridiculous. I think this movie with an alternate ending would have been so much better. Just maybe a better reveal or better motives. I don't know. You know, if you have any thoughts on that, leave your comments down below, because I know a lot of people watching this review have definitely seen this movie. Because, you know, it's a little more popular now that Scream Factory's released it and stuff. So if I had to rate this one, I'd probably give it, right now as it stands for me, like probably 6.5 out of 10. I used to rate this one a little higher. With multiple viewings, it just seems to kind of it seems to drop, and, you know, notches for me. I don't know what it is about it, but, you know, it's definitely worth a watch. If you've never seen this, definitely, you know, check it out. You know, this is a really good release by Scream Factory. The transfer is amazing. It's got some pretty cool features on it and stuff, so it's definitely worth picking up. Especially if you're a Wes Craven fan. It really shows, you know, that early Wes Craven to what he turned into. I think he, you know, did a good job in this. So, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this. I think that Ernest Borgnine as Isaac, as the father in this, I think he did a pretty good job. I wish he was kind of in it more, but I don't know. I really liked him in this, and like Michael Berryman's in the film too. He doesn't really last a whole lot in the film, but I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on, but you know, it's a good film, but I don't know. At times, for me, it just seems like it doesn't really know exactly what it wants to be, like a slasher or a fucking thriller, and then when the end's revealed, it's just like, wow. Okay. I'm just rambling. But I do enjoy it for what it is, but I do have a little bit of problems with the end, so. Yeah, anyways, that's going to do it for week 41 here on the 81 series. I'll be back next week. Of course, I do not know what the film's going to be. And I will check you guys later. Thanks for watching and subscribe. And leave comments. I definitely want to have some conversations about this one. So, anyways, guys, peace out.